everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jake.
We are the Dirt Road Men.
The Dirt Road Men.
For our Monday Palaver video this week, we wanted to get into some news, particularly, I guess, political news, which is about all the news is anymore.
Yes.
First talking point, mostly because this is like an I told you so if we go back to episode, I think it was 4 or 5. Old countries.
Yes.
North Korea, stuff like that. The Korean War is over. The war between North and South Korea is gone. North Korea was like, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and disarm. We don't like this mad dog guy you keep shaking at us, and he kind of scares us. Also, we see you are willing to bomb Syria even if Russia threatens you, so we're done.
What is Russia? Not my problem.
Watching that guy walk across the border and shake that other guy's hand. Have you seen that video?
Kim Jong-un. That one? Or
Yeah, Kim Jong-un walked across the border and shook the South Korean president's hand.
yes.
And then they walked back across together.
Yeah, and then they took pictures with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
was
was impressed. I was surprised that happened. Man, I got like a beefy note there.
Sorry. Do I need to scoot away?
This would be really good with, hilarious. This would be really good with, Isla, or Isla. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. I don't think
Islay
you should
Scotch.
smoke 2 cigars at one time.
Ah!
Like the old cartoons. The one, I think it was Tom and Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like something was happening and he was like waiting for a baby to be born and he had like his whole mouth was full of like one pack of cigarettes and he was just like
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I guess we wanted to really get an I told you so lap in, but also like that's cool, right? That's something that like, that's another one of those things, and there have been a couple things I think that have happened since Trump became president, and I would say Mattis is more responsible for this, but Trump's at the head, so if we're gonna give him flack when things go bad, we're gonna give him credit when things go good as well.
yes.
This is one of those things that I don't think anybody should be able to complain about with him. Like, hey, the country threatening to nuke us just said, you know what? We're gonna disarm completely, just for you, and we're gonna try to be friends. Maybe he'll even lessen his stranglehold of his communist regime on his country and let his country get a little better.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Like allow, pictures to be taken and transported outside of the country
yeah.
legally.
It'd be like the Iron Curtain going down again, but on a much smaller scale.
Maybe they
Every
can
sense of the word, because they're short.
the iron drape. The iron towel. Bath towel.
Oh no, Kim Jong-un dropped his iron towel.
Huh. It's not where I wanted you to go with that, man. Steve has a dent.
Yeah, he does. We got to messing with him too much, I guess.
He was dropped on the head when he was a baby. That's why he was so angry all his life.
Before we get into anything else, a mini ad for you guys.
Mini ad.
What is this, Jake?
That's a box?
It's an epic box. It's a whiskey box. This is a reject, by the way. That's if you can't read the label on the lid, that's why.
Why didn't we switch out the lids?
I don't know, because we didn't switch out the lids. This is the first video they're going to see this week anyway. Pick up the good lid. Where's the good lid? Show them the good lid.
This is a good lid.
This is a complete whiskey gift set for you guys with a deductive whiskey tasting guide from the Whiskey Smiths that I think is like one of the greatest. We put together everything we thought was a perfect starter set for anybody getting into whiskey, or a perfect gift set for somebody that's into whiskey. It works as a porta-bar. You get a flask, you get some whiskey stones, you get the deductive tasting guide, you get 2 glasses, and an epic handmade pine wood box. I guess you could be buried in it if you really wanted to.
You gotta be
Cremated.
Oh, yeah. Made tiny.
You were about to say something really weird, weren't you?
Why does it have to be like a really tiny person? Ain't no bigger than a loaf of bread.
I don't know, I bet Jeffrey Dahmer could have fit a full-size man in that box.
You said the weird thing.
I was just trying to make you feel better.
Hey, what's the scariest thing about white guy in prison?
What?
You know he did it.
So now that we've had our little ad plug, check that out. We'll link it below. Next talking point: the devils of socialized healthcare with Alfie in the UK.
The what?
The devils of socialized healthcare.
Devils of socialized.
That's what I wrote down.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
of Alfie, right? The kid that the government decreed was going to die. They're just like, sorry, you can't save your kid. I mean, the kid was brain dead, right?
Oh.
Here's what's irritating me, though. People have said, yeah, they're not going to make it, you know, they're in a coma, their brain's gone, and then they wake up. Now, that's super, super, super rare, but it happens. And here's why I think it's dumb. If that's your kid, nobody should be able to draw that line for you. And I've seen people arguing in favor of the decision of the government to force this kid to die. And I think that's asinine. And I think that's a perfect example of what socialized healthcare does. Now, the first way people like to counter that argument with me is they were trying to get him to Italy because Italy had said, hey, if you can get the kid here, we will try to help him and treat him, get him better, right? Italy also has socialized healthcare.
Oh.
But the issue is, like, when you have socialized healthcare, they have to set a standard of care. Whereas when you have a capitalist system, now our system doesn't work that great, but our prices and premiums have skyrocketed since what was Obamacare was enacted. Prior to that, I think it certainly worked a lot better than it did now, especially price-wise.
But I never go to the doctor, so.
Yeah. Just even from an insurance rate perspective. But, yeah, if a parent wants to keep throwing money at the possibility of keeping their kid alive, they should have absolutely every right to do that, and that only happens in capitalist healthcare systems. Free market healthcare systems, whatever you want to call them. And, I mean, obviously we have to have some regulations on healthcare, right? Because more people die from medical malpractice than gun violence, car accidents. Look it up. It's insane. But, that said, they should be the ones to determine how much they're willing to put in.
Yes.
Now, some people were like, this is why I won't let people take my guns. Because if that's my kid, I don't care if I have barely a snowflake's chance in hell. I'm putting that kid on the plane if I have to gun down everyone between me and the plane and figure out how to take it off myself.
Yeah. It's...
Yeah. And I posted that on our Dirt Road Men page, and some guy was like, yeah, you're just going to die in the airport. I was like, better to die trying to save my kid than a coward.
Yeah?
I saw a picture of outside the hospital. They had cops, like literally like 30 police officers lined up to enforce the law that they could not take their kid out of that hospital, take him to Italy and save him.
Why couldn't they take him out of the hospital?
Because they didn't want him to take him to Italy and save him.
I mean, they were
Or try to save him. He
There
was still likely going to die either way.
Yeah. But why? I guess I'm just having trouble wrapping my mind around them saying, yeah, you have to leave your kid here to die. You can't take him somewhere else.
Probably because they were trying to take him to Italy. I don't understand why it was such a big deal for them to take him to Italy, but the socialized healthcare system said, no, your kid's done. He stays here. He's dying.
That's just ridiculous. Have you seen the movie John Q with Denzel Washington?
You've told me about it a few times. And
It's like almost exactly the same premise. The kid's heart was failing. He needed a heart, so Denzel Washington, the dad, just hijacks the hospital, and he's like, either you find me a heart, or I've got one in my chest.
Yeah. And it's just ridiculous to see that happen. And then, of course, somebody countered the whole, oh, I love how my new favorite pro-gun argument is that I need a gun so I can hijack a plane to take my kid to a country with socialized healthcare. He's also coming from a country with socialized healthcare. Just because one country is doing it better than the other country doesn't mean it's a good idea.
I think with healthcare, I think they should open it up like car insurance. Completely free capital.
Yeah.
Is that the right words?
Yeah. I mean, they do mandate that you have car insurance, though.
Okay, but
And I don't like
only if
the
you're
government.
driving it.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you
And
kind of
I
already.
don't like the government forcing me to buy anything. I don't like being forced to buy car insurance, even though I think it's the right thing to do. Because if you hit somebody else's car, you should at least have liability.
Yeah. But opening it up, because I think what would happen is, like, if you open it up like that, then how many healthcare companies are there actually?
I don't know.
There's not very many. I mean, there's quite a few car insurance companies,
Yeah.
and they definitely compete for your business.
Oh yeah.
And they'll drop your price. They'll drop prices, and
They'll find or make up discounts for you.
yes. And with healthcare, it's kind of
they're forced to buy it, and we're forced to provide a certain standard of care, and everybody doubled their rates, so we're going to do that too, because now we have to insure all these people that are basically uninsurable, because they were already dying of cancer.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, not, a company not, like an insurance company, not being held to pre-existing conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like burning down your house and then getting homeowner's insurance.
Yeah, I get that, and that does suck for some people that are, like, say, born with diabetes, right?
Yeah.
But two things happened when that was okay. Diabetes medication was cheaper.
Yeah.
And there were insurance companies that specifically were created and marketed to kids that had diabetes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the market will fill that need. And if the market falls short, that's when you go to, like, charities, Kickstarters, churches, local community, whatever, to try to fundraise for your kid or whoever.
I don't know if you've actually seen the cost of, like, insulin and stuff, but
it's higher now than it was pre-Obamacare.
it's
By a lot.
ridiculous. I've taken Mom to get her stuff, and it's like, why?
I worked with a guy, Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
I won't give his last name, but he had diabetes, and Obamacare hit while I worked there,
Yeah.
and my insurance from one year to the next almost completely doubled. And his insulin price, he said, he was paying more for insurance and more up front for the insulin.
Wow.
But, yeah, Alfie and before him Charlie Gard are both kids that, like, the state said, sorry, the kid dies. Now, that's just, I have trouble wrapping my head around that. Like, that's not freedom at all. The state just killed your child. Even if your kid was going to die anyway, it shouldn't be the state's call.
Yes. Or no.
Now, what someone said was, well, parents shouldn't own their children. They shouldn't have the rights to their children. But that's basically what power of attorney is in any stretch. And you essentially do until they're 18. They're your responsibility, so yes.
Yeah.
And I just... that whole situation is a perfect example of why I think socialized healthcare is a bad idea. Like, it sounds great on paper, everybody gets healthcare, right? But so does free college and basically the entire Bernie Sanders platform if, you don't think about it.
Fair enough.
Well, like, that's just like the concept of the universal basic income thing. Like, everybody gets $1,500 a month.
It's just communism, which is...
Right, but if you don't even take the time to think about it and you just go, oh, I get free money every month, then sure, maybe that sounds good. Until you think about the fact that that has to come from somewhere.
Yes.
Like, a modicum of thought kills that whole system.
Yes, exactly. Well, it has to come from somewhere, and it's gonna come from you eventually.
And, the state has proven time and time again that they are horribly inefficient with money. And that's partially because they have incentivized higher spending instead of incentivized lower spending. If you underspend your budget gets cut.
Yeah.
If you So like if they're under their budget, they're going to spend a bunch at the end of the year just to catch up that they didn't even need to spend.
Yeah.
So like maybe it could work if you did that and found a way to incentivize lower spending. But the only way I've seen to genuinely incentivize lower spending is free market. Like LASIK eye surgery.
Yes.
That's the example Ben Shapiro loves to use.
It's because when it first came out, it was like super expensive.
Like 20 grand an eye.
And now it's like you can get the whole thing done for like $500.
Nah, it's more than that. But it's like, I think it's like 2 grand total for everything.
I heard some on the radio. It was like, I guess not. Also going to depend on your insurance, and you may also come out with
most insurance doesn't cover it.
Oh well, I heard one on the radio. It was like maybe it was like 500 an eye or something.
Yeah,
15.
That's the lowest I've heard is about 500 an eye.
So
usually it's about 1,500 an eye, and you spend 3 grand. I know 2 or 3 people in the last couple of years that have gotten LASIK eye surgery. That's still a much more manageable number. Like that's a half decent truck. Man, this is all blowing like right in your face.
I'm loving it. It smells great. I don't mind it. I mean I smoke cigarettes. Yeah. I smoke cigars.
Yep. But I can't believe that.
It's ridiculous. And where is that at? I know you already
the UK.
said the UK, like England or wow. Then their queen let that happen. Didn't she just have like a grandbaby or a
she just named a successor? But yeah.
Oh. Does that mean she's gonna step down or?
I believe so. I don't know the things of it because monarchies are just as asinine as socialized healthcare. So. Not that like the whole concept of the queen is kind of cool, like right, but especially because they really don't even serve a function. Like the prime minister is really basically the president.
Yeah. I mean, they don't really have to obey, your laws because all their laws are in the name of the queen.
Yeah.
Or the name of the king.
Right.
She doesn't have to have a driver's license or.
Well, and she in particular has accomplished quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not trying to take anything away from Queen Elizabeth.
Yes.
II.
Yes, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're better than New England. We don't pay attention to your stuff. Not we, the country.
It's not very well taught. I'm sorry, Grandma. Sucks to suck.
Yeah, I got my ancestry DNA, and other than telling me that I was the whitest kid I knew, I'm 56% British. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Yep. So more of me is British than anything else by a wide margin. The next biggest is Scandinavian at I think 16 or 18%.
Oh wow.
So.
You have never mind.
Anyway.
Off-camera stuff.
But I think that's it for our talk video this week. We just figured we'd go into some opinion stuff, and we know some of you don't always like these particular videos, and if you don't, move to the next one. So, it's not like we don't post, 3 to 5 a week. So, alright. Anyway, till we see you again, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jake.
And we are the Dirt Road Men. Buy a whiskey box.
Boxes. Buy them. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, drop us a comment, and check out our Facebook page for daily updates.